Adelantate.
Hola, hola, hola. Supongo que sí se oye, supongo. Pues si no, volveré a ver el directo a ver qué pasó. Pues ya, creo que ya. Pues no hablaré mucho, a menos de que sea necesario, porque pues no, me da hueva, en pocas palabras.
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon? Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon? Oh, it's Master! Is it okay if I go and say hi to her?
Oh, calm down now, dear. I'm not about to run off anywhere. I'm not a bundle of energy like you.
I haven't seen you in days, Master! I've missed you.
Oh, bless you, Yao Yao. You do say the sweetest thing. Ah, look who it is. Visiting friends during the land.
You're half right, Madam Ping. We were...
Hello, ma'am. I am a musician from Fontaine and an organ...
Master! The iridescence tour is a super...
An old lady like me wouldn't know much about that sort of thing. A music festival, you say? It sounds terribly exciting.
Oh, right! Madam Ping, how would you feel about that? You're an elder of Liyue, and you know all about Liyue's cultural traditions. Hearing your thoughts would definitely help us figure out how best to approach it. For example, do you think it might be a bit too modern, or...
Why, not at all. Music pays homage to history and culture, and it can also be a bridge. Times change, and the music enjoyed by the youngsters of today is no doubt very different from the tunes I was accustomed to in my youth. Nevertheless, all fine things in life can be appreciated. And so, I look forward to it immensely.
Hear, hear. I do believe that, my own dear grandmother aside, you are the wisest old lady I've ever met.
Goodness gracious, you're all being suspiciously sweet today. Yao Yao, whatever have you been feeding them?
Master, you're in such a great mood today. You're even cracking jokes with the rest of us.
Oh, well, I'm sure you must...
Thanks, Madam Ping. We'll see you again soon.
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Espéreme, creo que va a ser primero de la tetera. Si eso lo encuentro, porque no me acuerdo dónde está.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering. And if it isn't Miss Yanfei as well. Now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus Jadeite.
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the Seven Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case scenario, they'll suffer great changes in personality and their illness will only ever get worse. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document, won't take me a moment. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment. I wonder, Miss Yanfei, if your pressing business might be related to this Snezhnayan merchant?
You needn't concern yourself about—
You're too kind. Take care now.
That Baiju guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there? Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
You can't beat the atmosphere here in Leland.
Take it easy.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to
Yes. My investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount payable.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honor?
Of course. Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus Jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus Nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not—
Material evidence? I spent a huge—
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please produce the evidence in question. If we want to determine whether the ore is genuine, we need to start with evidence from the Jade Mystery. Clearly, you still have a few things to learn about this aspect of legal proceedings. This is a processing record from the Jade—
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus Jadeite and Smaragdus Nephrite. In any case, Smaragdus Nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus Jadeite. So I had him cut away the—
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk about evidence.
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all. Hard evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing. Show him, Traveler.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it?
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this— You know, you could be right. Perhaps they—
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my...
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of Traveler. Would you do the honors? This shall serve as decisive proof of our case. I'm referring to the affidavit signed by Dr. Baiju of Boo Boo Pharmacy.
What's this?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild Mr. Crossel. Were you aware of these peculiar...
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil... However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient, considering that... Don't worry, Mr. Crossel. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait! I knew...
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear Mr. Crossel. But if you knew of Smaragdus jadeite's dangerous properties beforehand, why would you...
Huh? No.
Aren't actually inlaid with genuine... You do, Mr. Crossel.
Yep, he's seriously intimidating, right?
But after I went to... That's why I had another pair of hairpins. I kept the real Smaragdus. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not...
Exactly.
If word got...
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there.
10 times.
Crossel looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus jadeite.
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much, Mora. Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not, I think I owe some compensation for that.
Ms. Jichao, you...
However, Mr. Crossel, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider us even.
What? But all right, then. This cursed rock's brought me enough grief as it is.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn this Smaragdus jadeite...
Well, that's not quite how...
Thanks so much for...
Oh, come on. Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossel, it seems that my client has...
Actually, I could see from the hair... If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores,
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to solve the problem, even though the solution didn't involve actually finding the hairpins.
The right solution depends on... The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. An Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard... Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs?
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while.
you've returned. How did it go? Were you able to find the Smaragdus jadeite? Good, good. Then we have all the materials we need.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting for me back at the office.
Oh, you. All right, then. Go see to...
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you... I've been looking into the law.
Come now,
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Indeed she is. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city among us all. Liyue is not the same place I want. All right, then. Let us speak of this no more. Back on topic. I believe that I still owe you.
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How is it made?
There we go. This Serenity Pot is all. Hold it firmly. Take these blueprints with you as well.
Wait a minute, Granny!
Oh, you needn't worry.
This is a peaceful.
I got a new letter from them. Looks like the situation has changed.
Wow! This teapot seems... But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Paimon can't do that! Well, you're the one with this... Still, why is it so empty? Oh, wait a second. Wow, it's a huge finch! Excuse me, I am not a finch. Hang on a moment. Oh, call me. I suppose you may call me Tubby. So you're the little helper. Madam, you may leave. Your journey may be far from over. Though it is the adept, thus, you may consider now. Have you any? As long as you have a blueprint, you can refashion this realm however you please. Blueprints? Yes, these are the... Just commit the image of the objects to memory and prepare it, then simply Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city inside, couldn't... I doubt it. A golden-eyed adeptus explained this to me at some point. He said that even though subspace creation is a product of Adeptal, this world is not a true one, after all. It provides merely a moment of brief... A golden-eyed adeptus? I hardly remember myself. What's more, I have never seen that adeptus again. Well, let's not dwell on that. Have a look around. Best you get accustomed to this realm. If there's anything you would like to ask, just look for me.